back to the first episode of wine tasting from a student with wine glasses, and today I have 2 bottles of wine for you. So what I want to tell you, the story behind this 2 bottles is that this is they're all from the same region in Spain, and there's only one man behind it that pushed together these 2 bottles on the market. The region is called Calatayud. It's a DO region in Spain, which is the second highest rating region in Spain, DO. The highest being DOCA. Now, Calatayud is really quite a minor region of the general overall winemaking process in Spanish speaking. The reason why I got onto the map was simply because of the incredible number of old vine in the region. When you say old vine, what does that remind you of? It's not a vine anymore, it's more like a bush tree. The roots will go very, very deep underneath ground. Some can reach up to 75 to 100 meters deep beneath ground. There have been reports like that. And aside from that, the cluster thin out. Instead of producing huge amount of cluster, they don't make that many cluster anymore of grapes. So a vine might get 4 or 5 clusters. That's without even green harvest. Now, most importantly, what I see old vine as is a life cycle. Now, what I mean by life cycle is we grow up, we're strong, we're tolerant, we fight, just like a young vine, 3, 5, 7 years old vine. They fight, they struggle with the environment, and they often win. So, in other words, their flavor profile coming from the wine are often full of fruit, full of winemaking process, involvement of oak, and so on. They're a really pleasant flavor, but they get a little boring. But once you reach the age of 30 for a vine, they start to mellow down. They start to realize what they are, what they want to do, what they want to do in the region. So they become harmony with the region. That's when more they start seeing terroir in the wine around age of 20 to 45. Eventually, the vine gets old. And when you get old, you get a little weaker. You get a little easier to get bruise, but what you have is an uncanny ability of fitting into your environment. You become a part of what's around you because you're old. You know, well, this winter is gonna be like this. The soil, I can find water here. The minerality is like that. I can take that minerality. My leaves are just enough for me to survive. So on. For a vine, this is just like that. They realize what's going on around them. They become more in tune with the world. So they become a part of what is around them. And that is, in essence, terroir. And terroir is hard to find in a lot of wine nowadays due to the winemaking process, the blending process, the age of a vine, and all sorts of other stuff. So to be able to have a bottle of wine that expresses terroir is quite a tremendous feat. Now, to start, I want to say Calatayud has a terroir of loose stone and mostly limestone with slates. Both of these stones are very known for keeping mineralities. But due to the hot weather, due to the very sunny weather they get over there, compared to the minerality you get in Champagne, that's very different. Or compared to the slate soil in Germany, Mosel Valley, that's really, really different. Or compared to a lot of limestone soil you see in Loire Valley, that's different as well. So, what it gives is actually give a sense of minerality as every slate soil, limestone soil do. But at the same time, they give a bit of dusty, a dry minerality. Not one of those minerality you can get in Champagne, which is more of a wet stone minerality. So that's very different. And also, Champagne is more of a wet seashell, not stone, but more seashell. It's like Chablis, a little more like that. And Germany is more like a wet rock. You get a slate, and you wet it, you leak it. That's what Germany minerality is like. You might find that a bit awkward when I say it, but that's just the way it is. And here is a story of one man. His name is Eric Solomon. He works for a European Cellar, which is a wine import company in the US. So what he does is one day, about I think 10 years ago, he traveled to Calatayud of Spain. And what immediately took his mind away from everything that he's seen is the extreme number of old vine planted there. The reason why vine get poor when they get old is because their production goes down. So people just pull it. And also, in the 1800, being a huge disease ravaging the European wine industry, which is called Phylloxera. So a lot of vine died. And also, the modernization of vineyard causing vineyard to be replanted, redrawn, different sun exposure being due, so vine being poor. But in that region of Spain, because of a lack of money, lack of modernization, and lack of basically everything, aside from anything else, they have old vines left on their place, standing on their roots. Well, some of them is on their own roots. So now, when Eric Solomon saw it, he said to the winemaking company there, which is cooperative, which is different from what we know today. Because in a cooperative situation, what they do is they buy grapes from the farmers around them. So it's easier for the farmer because they don't have to make their wine, they don't have to bottle their wine, they don't have to worry about selling their wine, which is a huge trouble. The farmer just have to worry about their vineyards, and get the grapes and get a grape to the company pay them by the kilogram or something like that. It's easy for the farmer, it's making money for the company that has been working for a long time, especially since the Nazis the fascist Spanish company, and that was the simple way to do it. But when Eric Solomon went there, he realized the untapped potential of that region. He sat down and said, how about this? We give a few trial of old vine making, Vitis vein, old vine. We'll pick all the grapes on the old vine differently and select them differently under a more cruciating process. Then we'll make it differently as well. Then we'll make a different bottle that's completely old vine. And that's why he came up with this. The first one, Las Rocas. Well, this is not an old vine anymore. This is a younger vine, which is like 30 years old, 50 years old. The old vine version is 110 years old, the 70 years old vine. And that's very different. That's about $5 more expensive. When he first made it, there was only one bottle that was an old vine bottle, but now he has gotten so much success. It's been 2 bottles now. That's kind of bad. It's commercialization. So that's that. And then this one kind of came along as well. This is a tribute to Eric Solomon's process in making that. So they decided to do similar style, and it was old vine, pick it very early on. This is Eovdia. The difference between these two is that this one has gone through a bit of oak treatment, a bit of French and American oak treatment. Some of it used, some of it new. And this one here has not gone through an oak treatment. They're both 100% Grenache. Grenache is a grape in Spain that often expresses well, Grenache can produce plenty of fruits, which means diluted wine. But in a good region that restricts the vine growth without water, without nutrients such as the soil you have in Calatayud, what it gets is very tiny berries, very concentrated flavors of often raspberry, blackberry, strawberry. So kind of mix between a lighter fruit and a darker fruit. At the same time, it has a bit of spicy component of your black pepper, and that's very important in a Grenache. So here is my tasting notes for both wine. And first one we have is the Eovdia. So 2009 Eovdia Grenache old vine Calatayud, alcohol content 15%. So it's made from vine at least 100 years old at an altitude of 1,000 meters. Slate soil. Now, custom bottle for Eric Solomon by Yolanda Diaz. Yolanda Diaz is also a winemaker for this bottle for Las Rocas as well. So what I have here is color, light intensity, ruby pink, notes, high malate intensity, sweet, raspberry, a hint of violet, cherry blossom, perfuming, elegant, yet very open and delicate. Now on the taste we have light body, high alcohol, medium intense flavor, dry, low tannin, medium plasticity, medium finish, very balanced. English tea component, violet flower, raspberry with a hint of cassis. So what I like about this one is the perfumey component has the flowery component, cherry blossom, and with a violet and English tea, while keeping the raspberry of Grenache and keeping the minerality on there. So I say sweet raspberry followed by balanced acidity and minerality of slate soil, elegant, seductive, and soft. Now this one is a little lighter than the other one. First of all, it's without the treatment of oak. Second of all, it's because it's from a higher altitude. Usually wine from a higher altitude have a very different weather component from a lower altitude. They get a little bit of lift, a little bit of spirited feel to it. And I give it 87 points. Well, one advocate, Robert Parker's wine advocate, give it 89 points, and Stephen Tenzer's International Wine Cellar give it 90 points. Next, we have the Las Rocas 2008. This is not the this is 100% Ganache. This is not the old wine version. The old wine version is a little more expensive. This is $10. This is $10 as well. The alcohol content is about 14.1. So here I have it is color ruby to deep ruby, medium intensity. Notes: medium intensity was black cherry and a hint of raspberry and peppery spice. Dusty, drier slate minerality. So it's definitely slate, so you can smell it from the dusty minerality. Now, with a little bit of wood vanilla spice in there. So vanilla is involved. That means American oak, likely. Now, dry taste is dry, medium plus alcohol, medium finish, medium plus acidity, medium body, soft sweet tannin with blackberry vanilla sweet pie-like feel of the blackberry vanilla pie on a slightly bitter minerality finish. So it has a hint of minerality bitterness on the finish. I give this one 88 points, just a little bit better than that because I like the intensity a little more. While this one, alcohol is a bit too high for its body at a 15% alcohol, the body is a bit light for that. And this one has a little more body to stand up to a 14.1% alcohol. However, interesting enough, 2008 was actually a pretty bad year from Spain. In 2009 as well, I think it was not so good either. And to be able to produce both of these wine at years that are not so great, this region has potential, and they're producing at a very cheap price of $10 a bottle. Enjoy, cheers, enjoy wine, enjoy life.